misunderstanding around it. The whole paradigm on which the concept of ego is built itself is a complete misunderstanding. The fact that we have created the concept of ego is a result of great misunderstanding. First, we look at the ego. What is ego? Ego is this core competitiveness in us, getting ahead of everyone. I want to be the best. I want to be better than you. I want to be the best, the top. That is what the ego is. You have that, I have more. You're that, I am better. I have to feel superior, or trying to avoid feeling inferior, just trying to want to be better. That is the core of the ego, the concept of the ego. The core of the ego is, the concept of the ego is, I have to feel good about me in one way or another. Of course, if I perceive someone to be better than me, then obviously I do not feel good enough about me in this situation. So in order to feel good, to feel that I am good, like to feel good about myself, I have to always be better than everybody else. If not as good as everybody else, I have to be better. I cannot stand that someone is in any way better than me. That is the core of ego. I have to feel good about me. So people who have created the concept of the ego, they have only come to have observed this phenomenon of people doing this, everybody doing this. And then they stopped there, created a concept of ego, as if the invention of this concept itself has explained the phenomenon. But what they have done is they have only been able to observe this phenomenon, but they have never tried. They just stopped there. They've never tried to really understand the deeper meanings. There's no deeper understanding about it. Ego, yeah, that's their ego. That's their ego. Ego needs to die. Ego needs to be dissolved. Ego is the problem. Blah, blah, blah. You know. And what they have also come up with is that they say the biggest fear of the ego is always death. They say anything that the ego fears ultimately leads to death. Death is always the thing that the ego fears ultimately. No matter what fears it comes up with, it always is about death ultimately. And then I have a really great question. If death is the ultimate fear, then why do so many people choose to take their lives? It seems like, looking at that, it seems to be a very neglectable contradiction. It is crystal clear that in our lives there are things much, much, much more fearful for us than death. Just look at how in the enormous number of people taking their own lives every year, if not every day. Every day. It doesn't seem to me that death is the ultimate fear. It doesn't seem to be so. But one thing I agree is that the ego always acts out of some sort of fear. like in a situation where you feel someone is better than you in an aspect of life, somehow you have this perception that someone else is better than you, like they have more or they are whatever better than you in any way, you've experienced this great discomfort. If you happen to be egoic in this aspect of life, you would experience great discomfort. And normally, people are not egoic in every single aspect of their lives. No. Normally, an average person is only egoic in some things. In some certain aspects of their lives, that's where they need to get ahead of everybody else. Not in every single area of their life, but just these specific aspects, or for some people, just this one aspect of their life, they gotta get better. And if you just investigate it a little bit, you will realize these specific aspects where people get egoic in are aspects that these people are already best at. Like they are the best at that. Among all the areas, all the aspects of their lives, these specific aspects where they get egoic about are already the aspects that they are the best at. For example, a person that is a doctor. This person does not get egoic competing like their cooking techniques against their friends. They don't have to feel like I'm a better cook than you. They don't have to. But when it comes to the specific thing that they are already best at among all the aspects of their life, like being a doctor, I have to be a better doctor than all the doctors that I know, or at least I don't want to feel I am less as good than someone else as a doctor. That's what I care about the most, because I am a doctor and this is something I am best at in my life, meaning I put the most of me in this. This matters to me the most. This is where the most of me is. So I am that. I am mostly a doctor than I am a cook, even though, just an example, I am not a doctor nor am I a cook. Just an example. So this person is, so I am more. I am, let's say, 90% or 99%, 95% a doctor, and I'm only 5% a cook. So being a good cook or not doesn't give a. I don't care about it at all. I don't have to be a better cook than my friend because I am mostly a doctor. So it matters to me more than anything that I am a better doctor than my colleagues. So in the end, it comes to a feeling good about me. Feeling good about me. I gotta feel good about me. No matter what you are, a doctor, a writer, an interviewer, whatever. It's not about you being good at it, blah, blah. It's about you feeling good about you. I am good enough. What matters to you is not that you are a better doctor or a better this or that. It's about I am good enough. And the structure of our world does not allow anyone that is in the top to be good enough. In other words, it's deep inserted in the back of our minds that only the top ones are the good enough ones. Anyone that, as long as you're not the top, as long as you're not the best, you are not good enough. You're good, but you can be better. That is not good enough. You're not good enough if you are not the top. If somebody is better than you, then you are not good enough. That is the message in the back of everybody's mind. We were brought up this way. Because obviously, if not being the top is good enough, then nobody would go, there's no necessity to go up to the top anymore, right? The only reason, actually this other way around, because we have decided that only the top ones are good enough, so nobody feels safe settling for less than the top. The reason why we have decided that only the top ones are the best is because wherever we are, we notice that whoever that gets ahead of us gets more attention, gets more approval, gets more praises. So we have to go to become better than them. Because wherever we are, we notice this phenomenon. Wherever we are, we notice that. So we always, in all areas of life, whichever area of the world you're in, always the better ones gets more attention. So we always have to be better. And that's how we have decided only the top ones are good enough. Now, the most crucial question. We are in this great competition. Going to the top, pursuing this state of feeling good about me. What exactly is that? It's so abstract, it's so mysterious, and it's not even something you can define. It's just this very vague state. Abstract sounds like state of feeling good enough. I'm good enough now. Now, good enough for what? For what? For some of you who have been pondering this, I think you already have an answer. The existence of the ego is not running away from death. That's where the misunderstanding is. Ego is running, but is not running away from death. It's running towards love. The ego's fear is not fearing getting closer and closer to death, but its fear lies in getting further and further away from love. That's its fear. There's nothing it's running away from. It's running, but it's running towards. It's not running away, it's running towards. There's nothing it's running away from. There's just something it's running towards. Good enough for what? For being worthy. Worthy of love. However, this clarity is so deeply buried, deep down in our subconscious mind. That's out of reach. So everybody's running. getting ahead of everybody, trying. Nobody has a clue what exactly it is that they are doing. Nobody has a clue. Even those people that have discovered or have observed the concept of ego, they still haven't gotten to the root of it. Even those people hasn't dug the clarity behind this, let alone people that aren't interested in things behind the surface, people that are just living, drifting along with everyone else. And why are we like this? Or why is the world like this, that we all have this ego? Because we have taught ourselves or each other that love is conditional. It is an irrational belief. Because if you ask anyone, they will tell you, love is unconditional. They will tell you, everybody tells you, and love is unconditional. But that's not what we are told, or what we tell ourselves at the back of our minds. We tell ourselves love is what I have to earn. I am not born worthy. Or maybe the moment when we were born, we knew that we were worthy, but then we got conditioned, or however you would call it, taught, programmed to have added conditions to love. Because we observe who gets the most attention, who gets the most kindness, and what am I punished for? What is anyone punished for? And we just learned that, okay, it seems I have to be good somehow. I need to be good. It's really important. Not just I need to be good, but it's crucial to be good. And this need is much more profound. The fear around this is much more profound than death. Death is nothing. Death is not a fear, not an ultimate fear. Death is not the ultimate fear. Never. Otherwise, nobody would have ever taken their life. Let alone so many people doing it every single day, and more and more and more. Death is not about death. What's much more severely scary than death is that I do not deserve love. I am not good. And I'm not just talking about, this love here. It's not just love from people. The state of being good does not only come from people in this world, like individuals, people, their love, their attention. It's this very abstract or general feeling, visceral feeling that I am somehow good. I don't know how to describe it to you because I told you it's abstract. It's not something concrete like love from other people, attention, approval. Not just that. That is just a small part. More importantly is this feeling inside you that somehow I am good. Somehow I am good. And it can get so twisted. I don't have to tell you how twisted it can get. Just look at people, how many people live their lives in the most twisted way possible. But above all, the most twisted thing in the world is that the belief that love is conditional. There is nothing in the whole of existence that is more twisted than that. All right? There's nothing you can come up with that is more twisted than this. You can let your imagination go wild as possible, even beyond the wildest of your imagination. Nothing can exist there that is more twisted than a believing that love is unconditional. It is conditional. All right? Love is conditional. And yet that is how we have lived and how the whole world has lived, following. So soon after we were born, we started chasing after love. Because if love is conditional, and there are so many these conditions that I need to make sure that I achieve them. So life becomes somehow a race, running after something I don't even know what it is. This feeling of finally I am good, I am just enough, and there's no more running needed to be done. No, everybody running. This hole inside of all of us, running to somehow fulfill it. This hole in us. But here comes the good news. The hole is not there. Because love has never and can never be anything less than unconditional, let alone conditional. You have never had a hole. You have never needed love. You have never needed to fulfill anything. You have never needed to run. And I think this is mind-blowing. For most people, this is mind-blowing. So, I think now we all share a common ground. The concept of ego is and has always been irrelevant. It's not about the ego that we need to look at, that we need to dissolve, that it needs to die, that it is the problem. It's crystal clear. The ego dissolves automatically when you realize that you are unconditionally enough. Because love is unconditional wherever you are. Whoever you are, whatever you are. Good, bad, kind, evil, filthy, holy. Love doesn't see any of that. Love loves you if you're good. Love loves you if you're bad. Love does not love the swans with giant white wings, elegant, graceful, more than the cockroaches running in the basement of your apartment. That is what we need to see. What we need to see is that there is absolutely nothing in existence that we can possibly do would make us more loved than anyone else. There is nothing you can do to be more loved. There is nothing you can do to be more loved than you are right now, than you can ever be, than anyone that has ever existed, that will ever exist, in anywhere in the universe, in all of the universes. Nothing you can do to be more loved. Nothing you can be to be more loved. Nothing you can do to be more worthy. Nothing you can do to be better than anyone else. Nothing. The love you already have is in this completed form, is in its perfection. It can't be more, nor can it be less. It has never been less. It has always been perfect. Extremely perfect. Infinitely perfect. Beyond your wildest imagination. And you don't have to imagine it. And then, I'm sure many, upon hearing this, would have this ultimate reaction. How can I deserve that? I don't deserve that. I do not deserve that. That sounds so good. Too good. I can't deserve it. I don't. I have so many plans and so many goals in my life to achieve, and then I will get there. Now you're telling me I have all of that now? How could it be? And that is the thing that you should focus on for the rest of your life. To figure out how you deserve that. That is the focus of your life. The rest of your life and the rest of your lives. That is the only thing that should matter to you. And it is the only thing that actually matters to you. It's not to do something to get better and to become deserving. No, you are already deserving. Now is for you to figure out why are you deserving. Not to become deserving, become worthy, become loved finally. You are already there. Now is to answer your only question right now. How am I deserving? How do I deserve it? That is what you are to figure out now. and forever. And that sounds like a much more interesting thing to do, isn't it? Much more interesting, much more intriguing, much more, how do I say, hopeful than running an endless race to get better, to get to the top, to get worthy. That sounds hopeless, desperate, impossible. But that is not your job anymore. That has never been your job. That has never been anybody's job. Nobody ever needed to do that. Or wanted. Nobody ever wanted to do that. Now the world's quiet. Your world's quiet. Because now the only thing you need to do is to answer. To not answer. To not try to answer this question, but to find out, to discover, which is already there, the reason why you deserve perfect love. I don't have to add the word perfect before love, because love by definition is perfect because of its unconditionality. The two most important messages so far from this video. One is there is absolutely nothing you can and need to do to become more loved. Nothing you can do. Nothing that you think of doing will get you more loved or less. And the second thing is you're to find out how, where you are, who you are, what you are already, and has always being deserving of love. Maybe before digging in yourself, you should look at the word love itself. Isn't it such absurdity that most of us know love is unconditional? It just makes me laugh. Look at the world. The world is in a rat race, fighting, running for love. Well, if you ask any of them, they tell you love is unconditional. Then what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Nothing. That is the answer. Nothing. You get to the end of the race, you get nothing. Because there's nothing you can possibly do to get more of which you already have, which is infinite. Infinitely profound, infinitely perfect, infinitely humongous, infinitely infinite. That's where it is, where it always will be. Maybe you would ask, then what do I do now? I have always tried to just be better somehow, be better like in a race, in a competition. Now you're telling me I already have this, then what do I do now? Oh, I have mentioned in my videos before, whenever you ask a question that has the word do in it, whenever you ask a question that is about do, What do I do? What should I do? What can I do? What can I do? The answer is always the same. Do what you love to do. In other words, do what's your heart's joy. Do out of love. Not I should do this. I shouldn't do that. I gotta do this. I need to do it. No, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? What do I love to do? What is my highest excitement at this moment? That is the answer to your question. However you're gonna let that to influence, impact your life is your free will, your decision. You can continue to do whatever. But that is the only answer to your question. Any time of the day, any day of your life, any moment of your existence, this is always the only unchangeable question, an answer to your question about what do I do? Do what your heart tells you. Do what love tells you to do. That's it. So there has been a great misunderstanding. Isn't that great? How great, humongous misunderstanding. That is the source, the source, root cause of every problem that you have. Whatever problem you can have, any problem, think of any problem anyone has ever had, the root cause of that problem is always this humongous misunderstanding about love. That is not in our conscious mind, because our conscious mind tells us the opposite. Our conscious mind understands it perfectly. Love is unconditional. But in the back of our minds, it isn't so. If you love to pray, I think this is the most helpful prayer that you can say, one of the most helpful ones. That is, I pray for the world to deeply see and remember forever the unconditionality of love. I pray for everyone, for the world, to see, to get closer to this clarity that love is unconditional. In all times, in all days, in all moments, in all situations, there's nothing anyone can do to be better loved. Rather than praying for world peace, praying for the end of starvation, praying for this and that, this one is more fundamental, isn't it? This one seems to hit the core of all problems. Because if everyone knows that love is unconditional, people would hold less tightly onto their bank accounts, their purses, and would know that they don't have to be that rich. They don't have to sit on top of that huge amount of money. They can let that go to where it's needed, directed. And if they know that love is unconditional, then they don't have to be always right. So then the world doesn't have to be in any wars. If everyone knows that love is unconditional, then we won't hold on to other people as if they are the source of love for us. If they are gone, then we're devastated, because they are the only people that love us. They are the only ones that love us, and if they're gone, I am devastated. I'm not loved anymore. And ultimately, if everyone knows that love is unconditional, that clarity will unstoppably, unavoidably open up our eyes to see that the nature, the fabric, the contents of existence, every inch and moment of existence is that love. And so is each and every one of us. That love. And so, yeah, the misunderstanding about love is the root cause of every problem. I hope this has inspired you. And I hope now you would join me to pray for the clarity of love for everyone, for you, for me. Thank you. Thank you.